I frequently get asked what made this year so much different from all of my previous years on YouTube. After I tell people that for the first 3 years of posting on here, I got little to no traction, they want to know what made that 4th year so much different. Maybe I just caught the algorithm the right way at the right time, or maybe I found my unique voice that people were able to resonate with, but I think that the 6-month rule was the biggest factor towards my success this past year. So what exactly is this? To put it simply, it's a radical and extreme overhaul of your entire lifestyle over the course of 6 months, and I'm going to share with you all the processes that I implemented and removed from my life to get here. Now, depending on where you're at in your life and what you want to do, your results are going to vary. So first we have to understand what we want our future to look like, where we want to go, and the steps that we need to take to get there. If you have no direction or meaning in your life, you can't expect to get anywhere in life. The most successful people have all done the same thing. They visualized their goals and crystallized them into reality. Now, if you don't have any sort of meaning or direction, or you don't know what you want to do with your life, you should watch my video, Stop Trying to Figure Your Life Out. And yes, it goes past the title. The title is kind of clickbaity, but in that video, you can find how you can find your purpose or what you want to do in life. It's just a very unconventional way of doing it. And I want you to ask yourself, where do I want to be in a couple years from now? Because 6 months is a great start to seeing success and like happiness and a lot of stuff in your life, but you're definitely not going to see a crazy amount of progress in 6 months. So it's best to aim for something that's going to take a little bit longer, which is around 2 years. So what I want you to do is write down what you would look like, how you would feel about yourself, maybe where you would be living, what you would be doing on a daily basis. And the more concrete, the better, because it's going to be important when you do what you have to do with this piece of paper that you're writing down on, which is I want you to hang this up in your room or wherever you can see it very frequently. Now, this might sound stupid to a lot of you, but a lot of my success and a lot of other people's success has come from visualization and being reminded of what they're working towards. And if you constantly have that reminder that you're walking past or seeing every single day, that's going to put you in the right frame of mind every single day. I didn't do this exactly. I did a smaller version of this, which I'm going to go over a little bit later in this video, because I already knew what I wanted to do with my life. This is what I wanted to do, and I kind of already had a direction, so I felt no need to have that hung up somewhere. Now, to start the actual 6-month process, the first thing that I did was I removed pretty much all of my bad habits. And first, we have to obviously identify all of our bad habits. I want you to lay them all out in front of you. I want you to face these bad habits with your own 2 eyes. See where you're at in your life and take accountability for it. For me, there were 4 key bad habits that I knew I needed to eliminate if I wanted to really see the success and prosper in my life. And that was excessively choking the chicken and watching dirty websites, smoking practically every single day, drinking at least once a week and going out and partying pretty often, and procrastinating way too much on the shit that I needed to do. Now, I didn't actually follow this step the way that I'm about to lay it out here. I just had the willpower to stop each of these things over a several month period, but I don't think that most people are going to be able to do that. When you have all of your bad habits listed out, I want you to tackle them one by one. Do not try to quit all of these at once, because this is going to create a yo-yo effect. I know you really want to jump into becoming a better person, and to do that, you want to quit everything at once, but what this does is create a yo-yo effect where you do end up quitting all of those things for like a 1 or 2 week period, but you're so mentally drained from stopping so many things at once, so you go back to doing all of those things but at an even greater amount. Like, you start binging those things and it just goes back and forth, and you never actually stick to it. I would say give yourself 1 month for each of these before you go on to eliminating the next one. The next thing you need to do is ask yourself some questions about these bad habits. So for example, the first bad habit that I was able to quit was excessive chicken choking and watching dirty websites. I never explicitly wrote these questions down, but these were the types of things that I asked myself in my head. When do I usually turn to these things? Well, it's usually when I'm bored and I have too much free time and not enough stuff to focus on. What is the environment I'm in which promotes the act of doing these things? Inside my room. What emotions do I feel when I start to think about doing these things, and what do I tell myself? Well, I feel this strong urge take me over and I get hella horny, and my brain starts telling me all of these things to justify doing it, like, it's just a little peak, it'll be harmless, just go ahead and do it. And now that you understand understand where this is coming from, where it arises, you need to attach a new behavior to the emotion and environment in which you find yourself doing these things that also produces a sense of satisfaction. For me specifically, in this example where I'm about to watch something that I know I shouldn't be, I either work out or I go for a walk. By the time I'm finished with either, but mostly it's working out, because that really like drains me a little bit, but also gives me a good kind of energy. That urge is gone, and then I feel satisfied. I think that no matter what your bad habits are, one of your replacements, if you're not doing this already, absolutely has to be working out in some way, whether that's resistance training or cardio. You're gonna burn out. You're not gonna have the mental aptitude to really achieve what you want to achieve in this life. You're not gonna be as happy. You're not gonna sleep as well if you don't work out on a consistent basis. And I have so many different workout tutorials and guides on this channel completely for free, so please just watch some of those. Now, as you start to replace these habits one by one, there's gonna be a change in you in how you feel about yourself, your self-esteem, because your willpower is gonna increase. You realize that you have the capabilities to remove these bad habits and to do better things, and that is going to increase your confidence and happiness, and that's obviously gonna help you in the long run for actually sticking with this thing through the whole 6 months. When I felt myself being happier and having more energy because I dropped these things, I realized, well, shit, I really can do anything. I really can make changes in my life, and so future changes became easier. After we have identified the bad habits that are holding us back and we know how to conquer them, it's time to schedule our days and or goal set so we can fill up that time that we were doing those bad habits in. The reason I said and or is because you don't have to do both of these things. I personally did not schedule out my days to a T, like time block things, although a lot of people have seen that that actually makes them get shit done. But I've tried that and it's just not for me. So instead, I used a journaling technique that I did every single morning. So I had direction every single day. And this is what I was talking about when I said I was gonna do a smaller thing than having that shit up on my wall about like my meaning and my purpose that I already had. So this is the journaling technique that I did every single day. In my journal, I wrote down the 3 most important goals that I had to complete today in order, with the first goal being the most important that I had to complete. And the reason I chose 3 is because it's not too much, but it's not too little. It kept my time in the day occupied so I wouldn't revert back to bad activities, but it wasn't too much to the point where I felt like I could never finish all of these things even if I tried. So that's why I chose 3. I would then write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. This is something that's so typical in the self-help space. It's something you probably heard a lot, but gratitude is important. When you start to focus on what you have instead of what you want, you attract more of the things that you want. It sounds backwards, but that's actually how it is. Living in an abundance mindset, knowing that you already have so much and genuinely feeling that allows you to attract everything you want in your life. And throughout this journey, affirmations were incredibly important to me. I've talked about them before. I've talked about the law of attraction a little bit even, but I felt it was so necessary and so crucial towards my success to affirm that I was going to actually do something that I wrote down that I was going to do. Many successful people have used visualization and affirmations to really achieve this. That's because our brain is a pretty funny thing. It believes what we tell it, and repetition is its friend. We become masters at what we do repeatedly. Our brain simply relies on us to tell us our direction, and our ego loves to be right. So to work with the systems we already have in place here, why not repeatedly write down what we want and let our ego and brain go to work to make us right about it? I've told my stories about affirmations, but one of the most fascinating techniques and ones I heard was in the book Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. And in that book, Scott Adams, the author of 𝙬𝙧, I don't know if you guys have seen that comic, talked about how he used affirmations in his life. He wrote, "I, Scott Adams, am a successful syndicated cartoonist." And again, he did this for 15 times daily for 6 months. Circumstances arranged themselves in such a way that a few months later, he got his first break as a cartoonist. And he later first published his 𝙬𝙧 cartoon in 1989. Scott Adams and myself contribute a large part of our success to affirmations. The funny thing is, I actually completely forgot about this story and the importance of affirmations during this time period for me until I reread the short summary version of it using the sponsor of today's video, which is Shortform. During this 6-month period, it's going to be very important that you consume knowledge on whatever you're trying to get better at, or just get more like mindset, psychology, success tips other than this video. But I've talked about it before, a lot of self-help books just contain a lot of fluff, and also there's only a few things that you need to apply from each of these books, and that's why short form is so helpful. Short form makes the world's best guides to nonfiction books. It's basically like book summaries on steroids. You can actually learn books at different levels. So first there's the just one-page summary of the book, that's the super short version, and then there's a more detailed version, the full summary, which gives you like short summaries of each key point within the book. Now here's probably the best thing about short form, the thing that separates it from all of these other summary apps. They have interactive exercises to help you apply the ideas you just learned. You guys know how much I stress about applying what you've actually learned. 3 categories I think you guys would be really interested in are psychology, relationships, and career/success. Like I said, the most recent short form that I've been reading was Tools of Titans, and that's really what I've been using short form for. Mostly is to reread and brush up on the key topics that I've learned from a lot of the self-help books that I've read. They drop and publish new book guides and articles every week, and subscribers actually get to vote on the next book that comes in and they produce. To get a 5-day free trial, you can join Shortform using my special link, which is shortform.com/Cole, or you can click the link in the description. Okay, let's talk about the next key thing that you need to do during this 6-month period, which will probably come as a byproduct of like removing bad things from your life. This is what I did as well. I barely went out or saw people during this period. This 6-month period for me started around April or May of last year, and we all know what was going on during that time and is still going on, so that made it easier for me. I will say that you're probably going to have to turn down a lot of opportunities to do things, to just focus on yourself, to work on yourself, and be alone for extended periods of time, which I talked about in like my video 2 videos back. I think the only way you can really figure out what you need to do, what you need to stop, is to spend a lot of time alone and sit alone and figure out who you are, what you want, and do a lot of shit. During this time period, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna feel a lot of sadness, a lot of pain, a lot of loneliness, but this is the period where you're gonna figure out who your real friends are and who are the people that you've just been hanging around with that do the bad things that you used to do, that you use as an escape to do things you should actually be doing. Your circle is gonna become a lot smaller. It's gonna become a lot more tightly knit, but as a result, you're gonna remove a lot of toxicity, a lot of negative energy from your life, and then you're gonna realize, well, maybe I'm also a really toxic person if I can't even spend time with myself genuinely and enjoy it, and you're gonna have to do something about that. I had so many useless things I was doing and so many people I shouldn't have been seeing before this 6-month time period, and it revealed to me, and it's gonna reveal to you, how many bad things and bad people you were allowing into your life and thought, you know, it wasn't a big deal, it wasn't making that huge of a difference towards your success, and it really is. You just don't understand it yet because you haven't removed those things or tried to remove those things. Each one of these things that you implement moves you an inch closer towards the universe working in your favor. I truly believe that. Now, this doesn't mean you should lock yourself away completely. You should still take some beneficial opportunities for you, like going out into nature or just hanging out with 1 or 2 friends for a little bit, or going to a concert, something like that. But it needs to be rare, except for the getting into nature part. Go outside every day if you can. And do not see a lot of people unless these people are also trying to make that change within themselves. And speaking of that, I personally did not have this during the 6-month period, but having some sort of support system, a sort of group to keep you accountable and to keep your spirits high, finding people like that, that is something that you can find in my Discord. If you guys don't know already, I do have a Discord, and the link is in the description to that. But there's a lot of people in there that will keep you motivated and lift you up. Because if you're not at that level yet where you can hold yourself accountable to do all of these things, then you need other people, some sort of system that keeps you in check. Lastly, you need to do this. You need to understand this mindset. This was the biggest contributor, I think, in terms of mindset that allowed me to see the things that I have brought into my life. And that is, you need to, no matter what, no matter how impossible that future may look to you, you need to remove all doubts about this, about yourself, from yourself. Even if you didn't change a lot of things in your life and you didn't do everything in this video that I told you, if you removed all doubts in your mind that you could do it, I am positive that the universe would start to conspire in your favor to complete these things. That's really just what I found when I removed every doubt about what I wanted to do in my head, and I just knew that I could do it and I knew it would happen. The universe was like, oh, okay, then yeah, let me help you make this happen. This is not easy. It's probably gonna be the toughest 6 months of your life. It requires a ton of sacrifice. Like, you have to give up pretty much every bad thing in a 6-month period. And until you do that, I really would not expect you to see a massive positive shift in your life. Thank you to all the patrons on this channel on Patreon. If you don't know what this is, it's a platform where I'm giving one-on-one advice and putting out exclusive videos and podcasts you can't find anywhere else. The link is in the description to that, patreon.com/ColeHastings, and that's it for this video. This is the video, I've said that in a lot of my videos, this is the video where you take action, right? So please, just take 6 months to yourself, remove all distractions, toxicity, negative people, get that shit out of here, and just go do it. It's time to do it.